Boise Creative and Improvised Music Fest, as well as just like the first place I ever saw Katie perform was downstairs in the Idaho building. Wow, sorry, Heidi. Perform was downstairs in the Idaho building, and she was just typing away on a typewriter and pulling papers from it and screaming, and it was pretty amazing. Her work has been published by The Cabin here in town, Zodiac Review, and Used Gravitrons. She is currently working on a novel, a brand new play, and she's also teaching writing at the Log Cabin Literary Center. So this is Heidi and her piece, Survivors.
The bug ate her. That sweet girl, Matthew's daughter, I saw it happen. She was wearing her white party dress. It was tiny. Its bitty wings folded in and barely worked, and I told Amelia that the little insect was harmless. I said I was more afraid of her than she was of it. Amelia believed every word. She trusted me, she looked up to me, she believed me, and then put her nose close up to the flying ant to give it a kiss. That was edging on too much, and for germ's sake, I got up to pull her away. But then I was entranced by the white bubble starting to blow out from the ant's pinpoint black end. Right where Amelia was leaning in, the cocoon kept growing rounder and more enormous. Soon it was the size of Amelia's blonde head, and I stood paralyzed. She was fascinated herself by this harmless creature, harmless because I said so. I shouted her, "Get away from it, Amelia! Come over here by me!" She didn't move. My heart was beating so fast, but I was transfixed. Fear stuck my feet to the pavement. When I finally unlocked myself from the asphalt and ran to pick her up, the white sack was as big as her 5-year-old body. At an instant, that pulsing ball of white sparked brilliance. It shone strong like fancy automated concert lighting. It pulled Amelia inside. It grabbed her before I could reach her. Amelia was there, and then she was gone, sucked through the ant's thorax, killed by curiosity for inspecting something safe that was more afraid of her than... I stopped, I stared, I backed away, I ran, I didn't tell anyone, I didn't scream, I just left. I was speechless. I never trusted my eyes or what I thought I knew again. Matthew had trusted Amelia to me. You can bet I didn't speak to him ever again. I was too afraid to tell him. That was the first one. There were more after that, an infestation of little bugs that swarmed down mercilessly and quickly for months upon months, chasing us. We were always looking over our shoulders. No one knew how many there were. Once you heard them, it was over. And when they'd come flying at me, they knew what I was thinking, where I was going to go, what I was going to do. You'd hear them target us into their radar. Then at night, sitting in bed, sleep impossible. You'd see one come in. One was more than enough. So small. They were too small and fast. They got into our bloodstreams and poisoned our memories and killed our brains and used us for hives. For a while, there was a man with me. He was a friend. He was helping me. I don't even remember his face or his name anymore, but he told me what the bugs were, why he thought they were here, how to avoid them best. They don't care if we repent what we've done to their planet, he'd say. It's the Earth's turn for violence, he'd say. He drew me a map to his shelter and taught me how to reinforce it and find food underground. They're angry, he said. They're going to annihilate us no matter what. If it hadn't been for him, I wonder if he's still alive. We never thought they would fight back this hard. I don't know how many of us there are left, not many. It took no time before our whole species was outnumbered. I could be the last one. I try to remember when it started, but it's been surging up for so many years now, for decades, centuries, so it's hard to remember. I remember bolting at full speed from Fred Meyer, the grocery store, when the spiders were at our backs running. That's what every day was this year, running and dying. After the surge of bugs, all the mammals attacked. The birds, reptiles, ocean animals. People tried to hit them with bats, shot at them, bombed them. None of our devices worked. Our bodies became their food, their homes. Then came the forces of earthquakes, tornadoes, tsunamis, hurricanes like no one had ever seen. Everything. Humans were under attack. I don't want to live in a world like this anymore. It's unfair to still be alive. I've sat for a long time down here. It's exhausting. The air is thin and musty. There's nothing left worth fighting for. The sun's about to set. I can tell by the warmth leaving the walls. I'm too tired to keep going. There's no food left, barely. It's impossible for these rations to last any longer. Before the earth battled us and won, before the swarming monsters and the devastation, before all the death, I used to wonder what was enough, what that meant, what just enough looked like. I have just enough down here. Enough food, enough rations, just enough water to last me for at least a few more weeks. I've got all I need. That phrase, take only what you need. It feels like forever since I've heard it said. Philosophers and priests used to say that, naturalists too. I heard them and nodded. Now I see exactly what that means, to take just enough to stay alive. I overindulged completely, even in my restraint. I sought balance, but had no concept of what that looked like. It's sure embarrassing to think about. I wasted life, and then I saw my family die. All of them. All my life, I saw what got thrown away, saw our excess. The rule of balance said that we were taking from someone else, from somewhere else. What we took was from our future. Now, after all the inhumane things I did to stay alive, life itself seems a wasted effort. But death does too. I sure hope there is something worth hanging on for out there. Did anyone survive? It sure would be nice to see a friend again. Scott, that was his name. Scott's the reason I'm still here. He never met me here, after all. I'm sure he's dead now. I want to join them. I know I should be careful what I wish for, but it's too late for that. The earth survived at least. The animals and plant life must be teeming out there like I've never seen before. No more endangered species, except we were the highly evolved creatures and they wiped us out. They survived. They fought and won. They were fed up. All of nature was fed up. So much fear and terror surrounding these tiny things. They were smaller than a teardrop, but how fierce they were. Scott said, after a year of quiet, it should be safe to resurface. It's been quiet for a long time, but maybe not a year. I wish I had a way to know. Guessing will have to be enough. My daily routine seems so far away. My needs have changed. Everything has changed. Now I need to portion my food so it lasts, and I need my water to hold out. I need to remember to breathe. I need the patience to stay down here as long as I can. What if I can start over? What if we could start over? Patience. I want it to be worth it. All this hanging on. To see if it mattered. Maybe I won't be so lonely out there after all, now that all the beauty is back. Though it is cold down here, it doesn't bother me. Though these walls that protect me and trap me are gray, musty, moldy, and rough, I love them. They are my friends and loved ones. Years ago, I was walking with Matthew in the dry, bitter freeze. We were headed downtown on our way to dinner. The chilled lights were mesmerizing there on 8th Street. My eyes were stuck to my left on the big glass windows in the legal building across the road. I saw the reflection of one of the office buildings, kitty corner to the giant reflective wall of glass. I saw the sun dazzling neon under the clouds and hazy smoke, and I knew it was a window to a new dimension. I remember thinking that as I was smiling at it with my eyes, not just my lips. I memorized the scene and so wanted to verbalize my admiration to Matthew, to tell him how much I loved what I saw and then tell him how much I loved him. But I kept my mouth shut. I worried about sounding vain and idiotic. My fear won over my desire. I stayed silent. I wish I hadn't. Too much time alone used to bother me, but it's peaceful now. It's so quiet. It's like submitting to being sick, to being poor, to being wrong. That's when I can see everything clearly, finally, and see everything I've lost. I'm lucky to have learned anything at all. If I had known how soon we'd all be gone, I'd do better to treat every minute with delicate love and appreciation. Remembering bitterness and hatred, I wish I'd never felt them. That dream last night, the mad woman, she's babbling on the corner. She looks like an elephant, the way she's dressed in layers of clothes. I need her to speak, but I can't hear her for all those ramblings. I need her voice. I want her voice. She will tell me the truth. I know it. And the more I uncover her layers, trying to hear her, the louder she gets. But I still can't make any sense of what she says. Then, at the last article of clothing, there is nothing left to her. I'm standing, holding her piles of clothes stinking in my arms. Then I see her again, the mad woman. She's ranting her ravings, and again I want to hear her. She sounds like music. I want her to open up and speak clearly, not tangentially. I run to her, and she disappears. I don't understand. Then I know that because I wanted her, because I wanted her truth, because I wanted her truth to be mine and no one else's, I destroyed her. I grabbed what she had to offer me, and then she was no more use to me, and I ate her. I loved her, but overwhelmed her until she had nothing left for me. Every day is hard work, for food, for water, for life, but it's fresh. The leaves are brighter than they used to be, so at least there's that much. We could never destroy the earth. We just made a mess out of our backyard. It took care of us for a while, as it's taken care of me so far, but it never needed us. I don't know how long I'll last. I don't even know why I'm still alive. The best thing that happened was the earth taking back control. I want to say that if we started over and I could go back in time, I'd do something better. I'd bring us out of it. But that's a silly promise to make.
Yeah, I have absolutely no follow-up for that one. That's, wow. Our next reader is Matt Truslow. Is he in here somewhere?
Yes.
Okay. I met Matt on the filming, or on the set of the short film Tummy Wants Apples. Director right here.